Alright guys, Hayzink here, welcome back to the channel for another Street Fighter Duel video. So in this video I am going to be going over my expectations for the Turtles, what I expect each character to be, and yeah, bit of fun really, see what I think and see what you guys think. You can tell me in the comments down below. I've been sitting for ages doing stupid graphics and doing things in the game, but hey, it's a visual that we can look at stuff and get an idea of what these guys might look like in game. So even here you can see I've kind of spoiled already what I expect the typings to be for these guys, at least in regards to what summons we would get, but I think they're going to come in a certain order, which I'm going to go over as we move forward, right? So obviously I do think we're going to have two special summon units, two limited summons, and I think we're going to have two legendary units. So you can see that at the bottom there, but let's go ahead and look at what I think the units are going to be type wise, at least what makes sense to me. So first up, I think the marquee unit on the first part of this collaboration is going to be the leader of the pack. It's going to be Leonardo, right? And I'm thinking that Leonardo's probably going to be like this. This is how I think his kit is probably going to be. I think he is going to be a master unit, like I said. I think he will probably be an agility type unit. It's just a feeling I've got, and I think he will be of the assassin class, which obviously means he'll do a lot of damage, but he'll also have good things like lifesteal and stuff like that. The reason I'm kind of going with that is I feel like in the show, in the lore of the Turtles, Leonardo is always kind of shown as the more, I don't want to say balanced fighter, because then I would have chose the balance class, but I don't know, assassin just seems exactly where he would sit for me. That's what I'm expecting. I think they're going to probably vary it up a little bit with each of the Turtles being different. I don't think they'll all sit in the same kind of tree. Surprisingly, I've not chosen shield for any of them, which is weird considering they've all got their own individual shells, right? But Leonardo is the one that I'm thinking is going to be starting the thing out, because I think what they're going to do is they're going to probably do Master Legend, 2 weeks later do another Master Legend, right? And the reason I say Master twice is because typing is dictated by if they're goodies or baddies, basically, right? Infernos, they've taken the tack that all Infernos are going to be evil or bad, right? And all Masters will be good. Although Akuma kind of screws that, they had this revelation after Akuma, so this is what they're going to be doing, right? And if you make one of the Turtles Inferno, it doesn't really make any sense. If they were going to do that, they would have to really put someone like Shredder in here, which would have been awesome, to be honest, but I don't believe there's any intention of doing that. So I do think starting out the gate we're going to probably have Leonardo, and he will, in my opinion, probably be an assassin and an agility character, and again I expect him to be a master. Now the legend that I expect to go alongside him is going to be Donnie, right? I expect Donatello to come out as a legendary character that you can purchase. Maybe they'll give us one for free, who knows? I'm not holding my breath on that, right? But I'm expecting him to probably come alongside the first batch of characters, right, which would be Leonardo as a summon, this guy is the legend. I think Donatello is a shoe-in to be a support character. The reason I say that is because obviously in the show he's always supported the team with his cool gadgets and his inventions and stuff like that. So to me it would make sense to leverage that and have him being a support character in this game. Now I have chosen Tech for him. Possibly the reason I've chosen Tech is for the same reasons as before. He's all about making gadgets and gizmos and stuff. Whether that technically makes him Tech, I don't know, because I think Tech is technical rather than technology, but hey, you know what, still it's a thin line that we can draw, and it kind of links them all together. As you can see as well, I think that when it comes to bonds, I feel like there's a strong chance that all the Turtles will be each other's bonds, which is why I've kind of put this here as a sort of a placeholder for you guys to see what I probably expect to happen. They might not do that, but it would make sense for the other Turtles to be these Turtles' bonds, which in some ways is a downside because it would mean you'd have to summon them all, but hey, you know, we can find that out at the time when it comes. But For Donnie, I am expecting him to be probably tech, and I'm expecting him to be a support character. So next up we've got the co-leader, or he is the leader in some versions of the story, depends on what cartoon, comic, whatever that you were interested in. We have Raphael. Now, Raphael is undoubtedly the most powerful turtle. I would say he's the best turtle. Depends on your preference, right? So for that reason, all out, power type. He is going to be the powerhouse of the collab, in my opinion. Now, I've got a feeling that he could potentially be a Bison type character, and I don't mean like as broken as Bison. What I mean is he could be a sort of a bruiser type character, you know, like he could function like a tank, but his actual gimmick is power, right? So he could kind of do both potentially. So maybe he would be a tank class, but I think no matter what, this guy is probably going to be the highest damage dealer of the collab. Now, whether or not that means he'll be a boss killer, whether or not that means he'll be a single target, AoE, whatever, I'm not entirely sure. For characters like this, I think they usually lean into boss characters, so we'll probably have to wait and see, but I think he will probably headline the second half of this collaboration. Now, will that mean that they'll stop you being able to summon for the first two, or the first character? I don't know. They'll probably sell the legends for the entire thing. I would expect that to happen. Well, maybe they won't actually, because if you create FOMO, it's more likely to get people to buy, so it might just be a defined split. They might do 2 and then 2, you know, no overlap, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. But Raphael is who I'm expecting to be kind of leading up the second part of this collaboration. So last up we have this second character that I think will be a legend within the event, and it is going to be the one and only Michelangelo. Now, this is maybe a bit divisive. A lot of people would say that Mikey is one of the most popular turtles. I think it really depends on when you were a fan. In the 80s, when I was watching the Turtles, straight up, Michelangelo was my favourite turtle, but that was kind of around about the same time that people would be, or maybe it was a little bit later that happened though, but that whole dude bro thing was really popular back then. You know, like the surfer dude and like Bart Simpson, and you know, Bart Simpson might have came later. I'd need to check when the Simpsons actually started, right? But that whole attitude, you know, was why Michelangelo was really popular, you know. I don't think he's as popular in later iterations of the show. Maybe I'm wrong there, somebody can correct me, but I feel like Raphael and Donatello became a lot more popular in later seasons and later reboots and stuff like that. My least favourite turtle's Leonardo. I don't know why. I think I just don't like the whole leader archetype. Possibly that's what it is. Whereas Raphael was kind of anti-authoritarian, which kind of I liked. So for me, if I had to basically choose what I would do if this was how it was to pan out, I would probably get the 2 legends. I'm not going to lie to you guys, I probably would get the 2 legends. But if I knew I had to choose between summoning for Leonardo and summoning for Raphael, without even seeing the kits, I could probably tell you I'd want to summon for Raphael. And that would be unless Leonardo turned out to be absolutely broken. Now, I am not going to predict kits, that would just be ridiculous, right? There's no way to know what they would actually do when it comes to form and function. And what I will say though is, I would expect them to be broken. I would expect them to be very, very broken, because I believe the developers' new strategy is make characters as broken as possible, and then people will want to spend money for them. Tie that in with a limited time collab that's probably cost a lot of money. I think it's pretty likely that that is more than likely what we're going to see happening with this event. Now, I would like to see how many of these predictions I've got right, because I've tried to go pretty deep on like the typing and stuff like that, you know, because obviously it's going to be a strain on gear, etc., which will make things difficult for some people depending on how you've been doing with guilds and all that kind of stuff, and if you've been buying gear and stuff like that. I would also be interested to see if all the turtles are the bonds for all the other turtles. That would also be interesting to see. And one other thing I'd like to know is, would they do an EX move? I do feel like EX moves are something that they definitely are leaning into quite heavily, you know. Depending on how much they've paid for the collab, they could quite easily have someone like Shredder, Splinter, Rocksteady, Bebop feature in the animation for the EX move, which would add a little bit more lore variety to the collaboration. But I am expecting this to basically come out in about, I'd say 3.5 weeks, 4 weeks. I think it's pretty much going to come, maybe not immediately after the Gouken event ends, but I wouldn't be shocked if we immediately got the countdown for it after the Gouken event ends. So I really don't think it's going to be that long now, which is unfortunate because it means that none of us will have had the opportunity to save up as many tickets as we could have. However, we could still get well over the 400 range if you are fortunate enough to be able to buy your free tickets daily and do well in like Super Showdown and all that other kind of stuff. But I just wanted to have a bit of fun with GIFs and changing up some screens and stuff. As you can see, hiding in the background, I've got a wee bit of Akuma's belt down here, which I used as my background to do this crap. But this is what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Would these excite you? Now again, just to be clear, I'm saying 2 legends. Maybe they give one for free. I doubt it, but maybe they do, right? If not, would you rather have 4 summonable units? Now, bearing in mind, the odds in them putting one of these guys into the standard pool seems so outlandish to me that you would basically be asking for them to put 4 units into either a combination of the special summoning pool or the special summoning pool and the divination pool, with maybe a chance to get them in the standard pool, right? But it would be the same kind of chance with Bison, Trendy Kami, all that kind of stuff, so no chance at all basically. I think this is a more realistic way of it happening and is what I expect to happen. Let me know if you agree down below, and let me know if you're looking forward to these guys. Catch you.